special episode of Waffle Talk. Usually we do the show on Thursdays, but we're doing an extra one today, Wednesday, to cover the PAX Unplugged episode 120, which was live at PAX Unplugged. Hi, Scotty. If you're in the chat and you type anything, it will appear on the screen. Hey, I have some... Gosh, there's a lot to talk about.
There is.
First of all, actually, I got some of the merch. So, if you're in the chat and you type something, I might send you some, especially if it's like Luca Troopa or one of the hardcores.
Wow.
So, if you're in there and you want something, let me know, and then you'll have to email me your address. But I got a couple pins in one of those pop socket things or whatever. And also, actually, I have Nate's CD that he put out a few months ago. I meant to give that away too. So, if any of you in there want some of this stuff, you can email me actually at powerscorerpg@gmail.com. If you live in another country, I think I'll still be able to send it to you, unless it's like $1 million, then I can't do it. But it's just a little pin, right? It shouldn't be too much. Sima, okay, Sima, if you want something, let me know, and I will send you something. Actually, I have a Strix pin, a Waffle pin, or something. In the pop socket thing. I don't remember what it was.
Which Strix pin was it? Was it the Coven one?
It's black and it has all these symbols on it. It was very cool.
This one?
That's it.
Yep.
That's it right there. Yeah. Gosh, so there's a lot to talk about here. I know we got to talk about episode 120. We should probably start with that, but we can also talk a little bit about the Q&A, which I think, did all of us go to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about I met the Waffle Crew, so we can talk about our experiences meeting the Waffle Crew, and we met each other, which was so weird, right?
It was awesome. It was great.
And another thing, after the show, I was approached by some people who watch Waffle Talk. And there was one guy I really wanted to talk to more, but I didn't catch his name, and there was so much chaos going on that I lost sight of him. But I think he said he watches on YouTube, so if you're that guy and you watch on YouTube, reach out to me on my email, powerscorerpg@gmail or whatever. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit, but you kind of disappeared before I could get into detail. Simon, tomorrow we're going to talk about episode 121. Simon is a real boy. Today we're going to talk about PAX Unplugged 2018. So, Shauna, are you able to... This is a hard one to recap.
You know what? This was going to actually be a fairly easy one to recap.
Okay.
Yep. So, the episode starts kind of like at the end of our last week ended with the doppelgangers being subdued, but after that, the period of like quietness, Teen Phoenix's character Lanya comes in like she's a bard, red-haired bard, and orders pies for her band members. And while ordering, she gets in the middle gets to basically counsel the Waffle Crew in some personal matters as well as matters of parenting, or maybe parenting, and maybe discussing if the Waffle kids remain there or go their separate ways. And at the end of the episode, we find out that the Waffle kids want to stay, and they will stay in the Waffle House and be kind of like mentored by the rest of the crew. And that's kind of how the episode went, basically.
Dylan, what are your initial thoughts?
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that we had kind of heard about before, but not been revealed or like expounded upon. I did really like that the through line was sort of the kids, should they live here, should they not thing. That was a really good connecting thread for the whole session. And the Diath Paulton stuff. Oh boy, that's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bombshells, just like complications as it usually is.
So
That sort of thing.
Diath told a story. So he talked about his exes,
hmm
which was Relissa,
Yeah.
who was a big muscular woman, and I think it's a guy named Kagan, right?
hmm
That's what it sounded like.
And
Yeah.
so, as far as I understand, the story is that Diaz started spending time with them, and they all together were kind of thieves, criminals, adventurers, whatever.
Yeah.
And he thought they were all, friends, and he could trust them. But then there was this mansion he was told was abandoned. And there was a big emerald in there, and they wanted to break in and steal it. But it turns out it wasn't really abandoned. And he got set up to be the fall guy.
hmm
So he went in there, and they cut the rope on him. And so they stole the emerald and left him behind, and he was arrested, and he was thrown in the Waterdeep dungeon. And that is part, or maybe the whole reason why he hated having to be imprisoned again, because it reminded him of that dark time where he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
in prison. Sima says, still can't believe Diath has multiple exes, and they stone cold murdered Paulton's wife. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be that's definitely get some follow up at some point.
Yeah. So Dieth so it seemed like he was saying that he went out with both of them at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or DS definition for X's is a little more different than people think. I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's possible.
Like X's as in partners, but not romantically, maybe. Like I don't know. Like DF is it's kind of an odd character to kind of pin down in that way. So it could be either way, I think.
Oh.
Like
Oh, you think it wasn't
I
it was
think
like innocent, kind of platonic?
yeah.
Or
It
sure
could be. It could be the DF is so like tight-lipped about personal matters.
Hmm.
And like the way he's going about like his possible relationship with Strix can kind of lead either way as far as like his experience. Who knows?
It's true. Although the stuff with Strix might be because he sort of learned from his younger experiences, kind of keep your distance. And also Strix is not exactly the most romantic person herself. So
Yeah. Like I think they're maybe more similar than maybe like initially seems as far as like relationship stuff goes. Like they're both equally as skittish about it, and or maybe possibly as kind of naive about it.
It's weird. Like I don't know what to make of it. You know?
I mean, they're both, and I think either of those things would, I think, be in character for Diaz. I mean, maybe he was so I think maybe Dylan's right. Like he was so maybe badly burned by that betrayal that it kind of like, kind of like stunted him as far as like future.
I mean, if he was dating both of them,
Yeah,
that's like double backstab betrayal.
yeah,
Like, dang.
yeah,
That's true. Yeah. He got kind of they colluded.
Yeah.
And made him, the fall guy.
That's rough. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anybody know about apparently they work for a criminal organization that uses a mossy coin as their symbol?
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know what the mossy coin is all about?
Mm-mm.
I don't, not offhand.
What is the party's deal with like foreboding coins though? There's a lot of foreboding coins.
Yeah. It's a mossy coin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's from.
Yeah.
But apparently they're part of some criminal organization. And it's weird because I think Diaz must know what that organization is, but I don't think he said what it was. Yeah. So later in the show, we learned that Paulton's wife Oh, okay. Simon says the Zents use the weird dino coin, right? I think the dino coin was from the Yatepka Society in Chult, which is a secret organization that tries to protect Chult. The Zents, I'm not sure. Their mascot is the flying snake. I'm not sure if they
that
have
or
any...
just a stylized Z from what I've seen.
Oh, a stylized Z. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? This could be an offshoot of the Zentarim. I mean,
it could be like the Shadow Thieves, or maybe something like that. I don't know. Because I know in previous editions the Shadow Thieves were like trying to muscle in Waterdeep, but it could be anything. It could be like a street gang for all we know.
And so it looks like Paulton's wife was actually killed by this organization, and that Relissa and Kagan probably know something about it. And so as soon as Paulton heard that, he was ready to go find them. Yeah. But why? I wonder why they killed her.
Maybe, maybe they didn't kill her, but they definitely like probably had information on it at the least. But still messy and definitely gonna get,
Like, why did she die? Like, who was this person? His wife?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The big question is like, why would she be a target of all the people? You know, it's strange to consider.
Yeah, it seems like Paulton like wasn't in that equation at all, because they could have easily probably got him on his own. So
it's true.
Do you think he drank back then?
No, I don't think he did.
No, you don't think so?
No,
I think he was.
Like not any more than like a normal person.
Yeah, I think it was more like it was more to relax sort of thing, rather than to like forget to the degree that he does now.
Simon makes a good point. The way that she was killed sounded like there was malice behind it. Yeah, because there was blood everywhere.
Everywhere.
Her face was all mangled.
Oh god.
Yeah, Scotty says she didn't just die. It was quite a violent death from the sounds of it.
Or like she was related to someone else that they wanted to send a message to, or something like that.
You know, it seems like that could be what it is that she had a relative who was involved in this organization, and maybe she knew too much or was threatening to out them or whatever, that kind of thing. Maybe she's trying to protect Paulton from something.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she was as secretive as Paulton is about his thing, and just like, past is past sort of thing.
Yeah, who was this? I want to know more about the wife. Who was this person?
Yeah, it's like we want to know more information about the two most like tight-lipped characters in the show, who have like, it's taken them over 100 episodes to get anything from them, like as far as like past their past.
Imagine if she's still out there as an undead or something.
Oh god,
that's
horrifying.
Chris would do that.
He would.
She could be a ghost, or a zombie, or specter.
Oh,
one thing that we maybe like, he said that they said the face was mangled, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it was like
Shatterkai?
No, as far as like, is she's dead?
Oh,
that's just like,
okay.
I don't know.
Like, it's just like a fake death situation.
That's
possible.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
She might not be dead at all. Or if she was killed, somebody could have brought her back, raised dead or whatever.
It's a lot of real bad.
Maybe she wanted to break up with him, and this was her way to do.
Oh, that's a real intense way of doing it.
Will somebody please kill me and raise me so I can...
I really don't want to be with him anymore. Please.
Aya says, and we still don't even know about the stuff in between Barovia and Waterdeep for Paulton.
It's true.
Gosh, you're right. That's right. There's a whole thing.
Yeah.
He was born in Barovia. His parents were killed. And somehow he got to Waterdeep from there. How did he? Oh, because the Vistani are able to travel through the mists.
Through the mists, yeah.
So they just like abandon him somewhere and then just continue on, or like what happened in between. there's like big chunks for Paulton. We
It's
kind of don't know
true.
the important chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, and the other thing, one thing that struck me on this show was that Evelyn discussed the leg,
The leg, yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
she's got this missing leg. And it has never been said how she lost the leg, right?
I
And
think
so
it
on
was
this
a
show,
riding
she
thing.
just flat brought it up and was like, "All right, ask me." And they
Yeah.
didn't. They asked every question except, "How did you lose your leg?" So she's got a prosthetic below the knee, and she
Mhm.
says that it's painful to walk. So her dad got her the boots of flying so she could fly around.
Which is the most adorable thing ever.
Simon says her face wasn't just mangled. From what Nate said, it sounded like she was cut into pieces. It's crazy.
Mhm.
And Sima, she might have been born without it. Yeah,
That's actually what I was thinking.
yeah.
Maybe.
That it might have been like a deformity or something.
Oh, okay.
You know?
So yeah, I is saying that too. I believe she was born like that. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Because like the leg thing has been this really long running,
Yeah.
and it has never really been fully addressed. Maybe I
I mean-
missed it though.
Yeah, there's. I mean, she doesn't talk about, and like she wears so much armor and stuff like that. It's
Yeah. I found it funny that Anna just sort of played it off like, yeah, my leg. Everybody knows about my leg.
yeah,
We don't.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
Was it Strick's just like, I thought you just had a really pretty leg. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So and then so on this episode, Chris wasn't at the con,
Mm.
and part of that, a big thing happened at this con. Chris has been running those Acquisitions Inc. games for.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Castle Mac Lydia. Yeah, I splurged for the fancy Perrier.
Oh,
Yeah, figured why not. Life is short,
I have nothing. I have just a mug of tea.
Oh, Sima, or she tried to fight a person with a sword when she was 5. Yeah, because she was talking about training. When she learned how to use a dagger at the age of 6. So that's possible. Yeah.
Like it's no big deal. It's like, yeah, it's normal to know how to like sword play at like 6.
Yeah. So this episode was set up where there was no DM.
Yeah.
Satine Phoenix was there playing her character of Vajra, who I think is an NPC on Sirens of the Realms.
Yep.
And so Satine was there, but she wasn't really a DM.
Yeah.
In a way, this was sort of like an acting exercise, sort of.
Yeah, it's good because like it's like 5 players, but also like 5 DMs situation because all of them have DM experience. So it was good.
I do wonder how much like discussion went beforehand just to like I wonder if they discussed like what topics to bring up, because it definitely seemed like Satine knew like what topics they wanted to talk about, and she sort of facilitated it by like, oh, what about this?
Yeah.
I got the feeling it was like they wanted to devote like 20 minutes to each person's backstory. And Satine's job was to remind them about the kids, because the kids was kind of the overarching thing where they were trying to decide what to do with these kids.
Yeah.
And also to help kind of steer them in the direction of the origin, like because her character didn't know them. She was free to ask questions, and just kind of stir it up and make sure they got to where they wanted to go in a natural way.
Yeah.
So
instead of their characters just deciding to suddenly reveal all this backstory,
right.
Yeah.
Sima, I think Nate might have been playing Squiddly more than Paulton, and I actually loved all the Squiddly love. Squiddly likes the gun.
He likes it too much. He likes the gun, and he licks everything.
Seems like he should get a job as a pyrotechnician at Nate's or Paulton's concerts.
Actually, not a bad idea.
Blow stuff
if anything goes bad, he is fire resistant to a certain degree.
It's true.
Simon says, "Well, no one likes the gun anymore now."
Oh.
Other than Squiddy.
That's
Squiddy
episode
loves that thing.
121. Yeah,
Yeah.
Warrington Munt still likes the guns. So
Warrington Months. This is Warrington Months.
I mean,
Mess at this
that's true.
point.
I don't think there's any changing his mind about
Yeah,
it.
this is because of him. All this stuff with the guys because of him. Otherwise,
yeah. So yeah, she was steering it. Oh, so were either of you there for this?
I was not.
Oh, I was there, and the crowd was really good. Like it was really like well behaved and responsive, and like 100% into it. And what was nice was there was a lot of people there, but we weren't all packed in. I think I said this before the show started.
Yeah.
So it was kind of perfect.
Yeah.
The way they did it.
Because I remember last year it was packed, but I think it's also the fact that it was like a the theater last year was a partition off of the expo floor, so I think there was way less seats. So I think there was like maybe half the amount of seats. So yeah, we're kind of like pressed up against each other a little bit.
Oh no, this was nice and big. There's plenty of room for everybody to sit, and it was good. Although if you sat in one of the sides, there was 2 cameramen, and they kind of blocked your view. But they had the huge screens, so you could see anything that you might have missed. Oh, another thing is, so Strix is talking about her origin, which we know a lot about.
Yeah.
But she did discuss Baba Yaga a bit.
Yeah.
And she kept saying that she taught Baba Yaga how to make sigil-shaped donuts. And if you know about sigil, it's shaped like a donut. And the city's on, like, if it's like a hollow donut,
the
city's all on the inside of it, all the way around. So you can walk all the way through it. And gravity's weird, so you could be up there, you could be down here, or whatever. So it's kind of like a weird thing. And I was kind of hoping to hear a little bit more about her time in Baba Yaga's hut, but I believe she mentioned in the Q&A that the Baba Yaga stuff is Chris's idea. So she doesn't know. This is not stuff she came up with. This is Chris's stuff that he said, I think at the very beginning of the show, that I want you to use no, Dan is a nerd. We're going to talk about 121 tomorrow. Today is all about the PAX Unplugged episode 120. And so this one will probably be a little bit shorter. And tomorrow, the normal time, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll do 121. But yeah, so she did mention that the Baba Yaga stuff is Chris's stuff. And so she doesn't really know,
Yeah. And if at a certain point in, like, she's kind of like authored Strix's stuff before that time as well. Like if you like caught the portion of Trapped in the Birdcage, where they kind of go through like kind of how Strix got from Sigil to from the bakery to the Feywild has been kind of covered, although it's not. It maybe isn't canonical as it is Holly's game rather than like Chris's game.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about how canon is some of that stuff.
Yeah,
that's a good question, because I think Paulton was on Sirens of the Realms, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's one thing when Chris runs the game that they guest star in, so he's running Acquisitions Inc. and like Strix comes over. That's pretty simple to keep it all straight. But once you get stuff like Paulton on Dark and Dicey, and then just the characters spreading to the Maze Arcana shows.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark and Dicey, from what I understand, has kind of a different, incompatible version of things that are happening with Dice Camera Action, right? I mean, isn't Barovia like set somewhere different on Dark and Dicey?
It seems that way, yeah.
Yeah.
And they have the Stone of Galore. It's Google MacGuffin in that show, so
So it's like it's a little weird. You can't keep a pure continuity.
Yeah.
I mean, they could, but they would.
I mean, it's hard, but
be
it's
hard.
also like having elastic continuity is kind of nice. Like it's
Uh-huh.
continuity that they mention, because otherwise you get really bogged down in all this stuff.
I
It
guess.
becomes like,
Yeah, it's like they just don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever. It's just,
like
you
they
know,
joke about, like I think the degree that Nate treats the Sirens of the Realms like appearance as kind of like, there's that little joke where he kind of like pops out for a second and then comes back in.
Yeah.
I think maybe confused Chris a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Chris
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Simon says Paulton has technically seen the Stone of Galore already, so that would be strange with DCA. And you want Paulton to call the stone Google. We'll see. I think soon, because that is kind of, I think, where we're heading here.
There. Yeah, we're getting there.
I think that we're all kind of barreling towards the run-in with whoever has the stone.
And we're halfway almost to the halfway mark of the season, so.
Yeah, so I think, because I'm assuming the second half of the season is going to be about the Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Maybe.
So
Yeah, same.
that means we're probably going to be wrapping up the Dragon Heist stuff. I mean, this season started at episode 91, and we've just done 30 episodes total. So it's actually more than 30 because they did 5 episode 100s.
Yeah.
So, so this is like, it's going to be time, I think, for the Dungeon of the Mad Mage very soon.
Yeah, and we already have like a bunch of like leads down there or possible like, plot points. So we'll discuss that probably tomorrow.
But it feels like it's going to take quite a few episodes to wrap this Dragon Heist stuff up, doesn't it?
It does.
It does, yeah.
Because you got.
I definitely want to talk more about that tomorrow, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on now.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about on episode 120?
I guess like the whole issue around the kids and stuff like that. Like this episode kind of clearly states that none of them really have an idea how to parent, because you have Strix, who's like just kind of feral. Paulton, who probably didn't have like a stable thing, maybe not parents. Like all of them to a certain degree didn't have parents, because Evelyn was shipped off fairly young. So it's interesting to see, like, they're not like, that's not natural, because they never really had that stable thing. And it's interesting to see them like, have these 3 kids and kind of have that responsibility of like, not pets, but like people to take care of.
It is something that isn't addressed in a lot of D&D like material.
Yeah.
Like how screwed up people have to be like full-time adventurers.
And adventurers are they're not, they don't do well in like the domestic. Like I think the Waffle crew, as much as they are having a tough time like being like domestic people, normal people in Waterdeep. Like it's not in their nature to kind of like be as settled as they are.
Simon says they'll need 3 more episodes. 1 to kill Jarlaxle.
Oh no.
1 to kill Manshoon. And 1 to kill the Castellanters, and then they're done.
Okay. So I don't see them killing Jarlaxle or the Castellanters. I see them maybe killing Manshoon.
Because there can always be like, there's always an option of like, one more Manshoon somewhere.
I think there was a mention that
it's going to be complicated.
Manshoon was not happy with them.
Yeah.
I imagine not. Yeah.
Because they beat him up.
They embarrassed him in front. They embarrassed him in front of his men.
They did. They really did. Yeah. So, as far as the kids go, in the beginning it was like, I think Paulton and Diath were okay with the idea of getting rid of the kids. Evelyn wanted them to stay, and she wanted to just let them do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I think Diath he likes them. He's just like I think he's worried for them.
Yeah.
More than he is like, we can't have these kids.
Scotty points out that they counterspelled him. Yep. And Sima, he wasted his 9th level spell. That's just rude. Yeah,
you never do that to a wizard.
So so okay. So I go to the convention, right?
Yeah.
First thing I ended up doing was going to the Waffle Crew merchandise table. And I had gotten there at 2:30 or so. And, they were just closing up. They were almost ready to pack it up and leave. And there was nobody there except the 4 members of the Waffle Crew. And this is so weird. And Kika, who was Dierne Howe, as she's one of the Chickenfoot Coven.
Yeah.
And Kika also plays in my Secrets of Castle Greyhawk game on the Greyhawk channel. And it was so weird that I'm walking up and I'm like, I can't believe that Kika is here and they're here. And I got to just say hi to them. So if you've been watching Waffle Talk and you hear all the stuff that I like ramble about, I just kind of barfed up some of those talking points, and I made it a point, to kind of tell Nate how awesome it was what he did with Manchun and to counterspell.
And I think that's something that he actually referenced on yesterday's episode, I think, too.
Oh yeah? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, So what happened? I'm like, Nate, you're just, dude, you're amazing. That was fantastic. I said, you counterspelled Manchun. And Holly immediately chimes in. She's like, yeah, Nate, Manchun is like a big deal. And then I'm like, you counterspelled Power Word Kill. And I had actually gotten killed by Power Word Kill like a week ago on a game on Greyhawk Channel Orchard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just got killed by that, And then Holly goes, and I turned him into a chicken, and I'm like, you turned Manchun into a chicken. It's freaking amazing. And then, Jared was standing right next to me, and I'm like, so I said to Jared, I feel like you guys could fill 2 hours of the show, even if Chris said nothing. And he goes to me, that's what we're going to try to do tonight on the show that evening, and it was just like, and then I see Kika, and so on the Greyhawk channel, Kika has the Sword of the Magus, which is an item from an old, and so every episode it's like we whisper, Sword of the Magus, and if you say Sword of the Magus, light this place like it glows. So Kika likes to like hold it up, and and so I look at Kika and I go, Sword of the Magus. And she's like, Sword of the Magus. It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I talked to them for a few minutes, and now I'm just going to get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, at least you had in, because it's like there were people that I talked to at the con that I didn't know who they were, but and then they said their Twitter name. I'm like, oh, it's you. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's like,
yeah.
And then also I thanked Holly and Anna, who have been on the show a few times.
Yes.
I thanked them for coming on the show, and I guess Anna. I don't want to toot my own horn, but apparently, especially in the early days of Dice Camera Action, they used to go through my blog and read the recaps all the time as they were planning stuff. So it's like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? So were either of you able to meet them?
I did not have a chance to meet them this year.
No.
Oh no.
I met them. I had a good time last year.
You did.
So we did meet him. I was a little nervous to talk to him, so I just sort of stood there and I got my picture with him.
Yeah.
But Rena, who you might have seen here on Waffle Talk, I know is very excited to give them all fans, which right after we left the booth and went upstairs, they posted Instagram stories of themselves messing around with the fans, and I know Rena was just like so blown away by that.
Yeah, I remember.
Also, actually, Rena dressed up as Paulton, and Anna had pointed out to her that Rena had the little gear necklace that Paulton has, and I guess Nate actually lost his for his costume, so Rena gave him hers. So
wow.
Yeah. So next time you see Nate dressed up as Paulton and you see a little gear necklace, it's Rena's.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scotty writes, Scotty. I gave them shift spice. They all got a packet.
You certainly did.
For the viewers who don't know,
this is
shift
a real
spice.
thing now.
There it is right there. Okay, everybody's going. All right. Shift Spice is a thing from Planescape Torment that I put in my games, and I tried to play it up as really special, and everybody kept trying to treat it like a ketchup packet from McDonald's, which made me so mad.
You drank it. I'm surprised.
So it turned into a whole thing, but Scotty was nice enough actually, because I insisted that it had to come in a specially treated glass bottle. So at the con, Scotty gave me this specially treated glass bottle of Shift Spice. He actually found a spice that kind of, I don't think you can see this very well, but a spice that kind of looks like Shift Spice, because the thing about Shift Spice is in Planescape Torment, it's described as you put it on your food, you imagine a flavor that you want, and that's what it tastes like. So that's kind of the whole thing about Shift Spice. You know, it's from Limbo. It's like a Githzerai thing. You know, and in Limbo you can use your mind to change things from one to another. Like you create a river, you know, or an earth moat or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's all. And it's been like an ongoing gimmick, and apparently they gave Shift Spice to the Waffle crew. That's weird.
Yes. That's awesome.
So you guys had a great time at PAX Unplugged, right?
Oh yeah, had a great time.
Yeah. We all went to the Q&A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember much from the Q&A.
Goodness.
The one thing I remember is a lot of people asked about what if you die? What if you all die?
I mean, it's not a non-foregone conclusion. What?
And I know that Anna had said, and I think at the Q&A, that she felt like there was this unspoken agreement with Chris that Evelyn is not going to die. She might die, but she'll get brought back. But I think I got the feeling that was more of a hopeful statement than something set into stone. Yeah. I know Scotty asked a question, and I know that Brienne asked a question. Brienne's from Dungeon Academy on my channel. The Q&A is on the PAX 2 channel on Twitch. You know, I think I'll put the link to that when I post this on YouTube.
Yeah, I think people.
Yeah, because it was a fun thing. They started the Q&A off with questions they get asked a lot, if I remember right. But gosh, I don't. Do you remember any of the stuff from the Q&A? Either of you?
I don't remember much. I remember for the what character would you play if you died thing. I know Anna said she'd like to play a Tiefling Wild Mage, which I am a fan of that. That sounds like a really interesting character.
Yeah. And Dan is a nerd. Their responses to that was pretty funny. I thought they all just really don't want the campaign to end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Lights MKA. How you doing? And Scotty, I remember them saying they smashed sandwiches.
Right I know that feeling. I smashed a sandwich. I smashed a sandwich before my panel. So
you smashed? Oh, you ate one real quick.
Yeah.
For a minute there, I was envisioning like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich wrapped up in plastic wrap, and you punch it to relieve stress or something. It's kind of weird.
I mean, who doesn't do that? I do that all the time.
Sima says the Q&A was mainly them not wanting the campaign to end and them being very nice to Chris. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And also, wasn't it burgers? Yeah, I think it was burgers.
Yeah.
The Q&A was very like loose and relaxed, and there was a lot of people with questions, and it kind of worked out exactly to 1 hour, just like they wanted.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Scotty Hood, I forgot the question, but they did mention that they actually get upset when Chris. Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When Chris levels them up because they believe the campaign will end at level 20.
Yeah, because were they 11?
Right. Yeah.
You don't have. Yeah, there's only 9 more levels. It's not like.
Was it Jared who said that when they leveled up like once this year and they were still like, Chris, slow down?
Yeah. They're kind of at the level where it's like they're in a good place. They're pretty powerful, but they're still they're not necessarily yearning for like we need these higher level spells.
Gosh,
because they can
wonder what level they'd be.
Level 9.
I wonder what level they'd be if they tracked XP.
Because
if you only have one encounter per session.
Yeah, but
not a lot of
Chris has thrown pretty heavy things at them. Like
it's true.
Like the reason why they kind of struggle as much is like he throws decently high creatures at them,
and a lot of them. Like he doesn't screw around.
It's true. Simon says that they just leveled up again. They're level 12 now.
Oh, did they?
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, Dyson dinosaurs like Manchun. Yeah.
Yes. I think just surviving like that.
That would deserve XP in my book. Yeah. Just getting out of
Or
there.
they killed the Xanathar and all of
Lord,
That's true.
yeah.
They did. Yeah. And I mean, if you include story award XP bonuses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
It'd be up there.
Q&A. Yeah, the Q&A was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now I did not. I know absolutely nothing about this. I didn't see the Acquisitions Inc. show, and I know Evelyn was on it. Dylan, you saw it, right?
Yeah.
So can you tell me about it?
Do you want me to give a brief recap?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Tell me. Just tell me what happened.
All right. So we basically picked up where the PAX West game had ended, and like the little podcast thing they added, where like they went down to the Castle Lantern Bank and they found like an orb down there that basically teleported them from Faerun to Ravnica, and in Ravnica there was like this whole orrery of different worlds, including Faerun, and Evelyn just sort of popped out of the Faerun one when stuff started like messing up. And so basically Inc. and Evelyn teamed up to go and try and repair the little Faerun orbs so they could go back home. And also start a franchise in Ravnica because it's just a city planet and Omen was in paradise.
Start an Acquisitions Inc. franchise in Ravnica. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, while they were there, like the most important NPC I can think of during the session was actually like a repair woman from Sigil.
Really?
Yeah. And she was like, yeah, I just stopped by here, jumping from plane to plane.
Yeah, because I guess
lucky I was here.
The arrangement of Ravnica and Planescape are or Sigil are pretty similar as far as like the way it's organized with the guilds versus the factions.
All right, so let's see. Lights MKA. They're already interacting with gods too. Hopefully at level 20. There's a book that has some high class stuff. Well, there is some big stuff out there for the group to deal with. Like, they haven't. You get the feeling there's going to be a whole Skizix thing and a whole Shemeshka thing.
Oh yeah.
They're going to need to be high level to deal with that stuff.
And Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is full of high level monsters and stuff. And I think they're going to have a lot of this. I think there's plenty to do. And there's I think there's still another Strahd out there. So in theory, Chris could juice him up.
I mean, Dungeon of the Mad Mage goes to level 20.
There you go. Yeah, that could be the rest of the campaign.
They have the Mad Mage.
Dyson Dinosaur says it was awesome. I didn't get to go to the con, but I watched the VODs of the DCA and the AI game. Also, people are liking the AI game. Because I was a little worried because Chris isn't running the Acquisitions Inc. thing anymore. I was afraid that people might not like it, but apparently it went over really well. Scotty says Omen was purple and pink the whole time.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
Lights says love seeing the characters interact with people, and Anna did really well, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
of course she did. It's awesome.
Evelyn basically thought that Jim Dark Magic was the worst mage ever because Strix told her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So she was just like, "Oh, you did so well, honey. Oh, that was amazing."
Oh no, that's perfect. That's so good.
And then Jim told her that Strix was dying, and Evelyn was like, "Strix is dying? Oh God, I gotta get back."
Oh, that's amazing.
Probably the best part of the show.
Really?
They captured like an angel thing, like a weird undead angel construct thing. And Evelyn was like, "Oh, we gotta convert them. I have a construct son. It doesn't mean he's bad, And Omen was like, "Yeah, I will take him and I will teach him the glory of Lathander." And he got in the elevator with this little thing, went down to the bottom level, kicked it out, and summoned his spirit guardians on top of it, and basically just blendered this little baby.
Oh my God! Really?
And then he went back up, said hi to Evelyn, like, It's fine. Yeah.
Oh no, he like
Converted.
Omen like sent it to the upstate farm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
no. Simon
It's fine.
Simon says that Evelyn niced Jim to death. She was just really
Yeah.
nice to him, and he couldn't
Yeah.
handle it.
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
I mean, how
He
often
didn't like
how often are people nice to Jim?
I know.
Mm.
Like she was praising him the entire time, but it was so like thinly veiled. Just I'm being nice to you because I think you're really bad at it. You know.
Scotty says that Omen was sucking up to Evelyn and praising the Morning Lord the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course you would.
Yeah.
Simon says when they hit level 20, maybe Paulton can finally make good on his threat and beat Lathander up. Whoa. Evelyn would
Evelyn is not gonna
flip out if
No.
that were to happen. Yeah.
Oh no.
I think Paulton. I don't know where Paulton's gonna. What is Paulton gonna end up as at level 20? I don't
know.
What is Paulton? I don't know. I feel like if someone is gonna die on the show, it's him, right?
Ooh,
Oh boy.
I think
Maybe
it's
to
Diaz. I think
sit-
it's Diaz.
You think
Is someone's
Diaz?
gonna die?
Yeah, could be.
It's our sad boy.
Not Strix though. I would say.
Oh, Strix
No.
Strix has a survival.
Strix is like a very iconic character, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
she is.
Yeah.
Just out of all, I mean, they're all great characters, but hers is one that just really like sticks out, and you could see, I don't know, just in books and stuff like that. Like she's a very unique character that
Yeah.
really, I mean, it's like no one else has ever really run a character like her before.
Yeah.
Simon says that Jerry and Anna tag teamed their own team, their own ship. Evelyn encouraging Jim. Scotty says Jeremy had Jim Dark Magic actually have to limit the amount of spells he had prepared for that day.
Oh,
and it made him a lot less effective that
he-
session.
Oh,
Yeah.
They finally did the Oh, that spell takes this. You have this many spells, Jim. Jim, you have spell limits, Jim.
Because
Yeah.
Jeremy Crawford is the rules guy at D&D, so he knows.
Well, I mean,
all the rules, right?
I mean, this might be his thing because like Chris just kind of let VR do whatever the hell he wanted to, and this might be the thing. It's like, Jim, you got spell limits, Jim.
Wow.
Yeah.
You always pick. If there's only one person like you give a hard time, like Jared is like Chris's person, or Diaz is Chris's person to give a hard time to.
Based on how the session ended, yeah, I would say Jim's having a very hard time so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Scotty says that there was a lot of jumping off of high places, and Jim didn't have Featherfall or Fly prepared.
Oh, I bet Jim wish he had a broom at that point, maybe.
And Simon says that he picked exactly the wrong spells. No Dispel Magic, no Featherfall. Scotty says one of the better spots I thought was when the camera zoomed in on Omen and the crowd laughed, and Omen wasn't sure what they were laughing at. Dice and Dinosaurs, I didn't realize Jim was just using all of his spells until now.
Yeah.
This sounds like it was a really good show.
It was. It really, really was. I know very little about Ravnica. Like I've looked into it before it was a D&D setting, but like just the way that Jeremy Crawford sort of wound the whole thing together was very nice. It was very nice, and we definitely ended on a cliffhanger at the end, which was it. The whole crowd basically, when it happened, just went ah.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
Really? Lights MKA says that Jeremy gave inspiration out too.
Yeah.
He did. That's right.
Yeah.
Which is something Chris has not done.
It's a hard thing to. I feel like a lot of people forget about inspiration.
Yeah.
I know I do.
You know, and even when you get it as a player, you forget you have it sometimes. If you don't use it in the same session. Although, actually, earlier today on Mordenkind's Path of the Plains, it turns out Ellie's been writing hers down, and she pulls out her sheet, and she holds it up, and I'm like, oh
it was
God.
Needed.
Oh, it was needed, huh?
It was needed.
Yeah. Huh.
The D&D Beyond character sheet where you can just sort of press the little button and it marks it has definitely helped me.
Yeah,
because now I remember I have it.
It's helped me keep track of money too. So.
Oh God, yeah.
So what was it like being at the Acquisitions Inc. game live? What was that like?
There's just a real like energy in the room, you know, and there's a lot of stuff. I think the most interesting thing for me was looking at the stuff the camera wasn't focused on, which when you're watching it just live streamed, you can't see what the other players are doing when the camera's not on them. But it was really interesting. There's a bit where there's a bit where Anna was like sitting this way towards the table and kept going like towards the crowd.
Yeah.
And like that's not in the live stream. But
yeah. And it's like a lot of the crowd, like when they filmed a lot of the crowd reactions, you can't really tell. Because remember last year's, like when Waffles was in danger, you could just hear the crowd being like upset. It's like, Chris can't kill this thing right here. Like Chris can't kill Waffles. Look how mad people are when Waffles is in danger.
But you couldn't hear it on the stream?
You couldn't really hear it. Like it was in the streams, like it was like ooh, like noises, like they were not happy that Waffles was was threatened to get hurt.
So they should mic the crowd, you know. They do that at some live
events. It's difficult to say.
Yeah.
You know? Like you don't want to drown out the actual game, but
I mean, there have been some Acquisitions Inc. where people yell stuff out from the crowd and it gets annoying. So
that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
You want to drown them out.
Although it is helpful at times because I know they shout up to Anna to remember all of her stuff, like Divine Smite.
Divine Smite.
That sounds like it was really good.
It was, yeah.
Those shows are excellent.
That's a lifelong dream fulfilled. You know? Yeah. Like I think I've mentioned before, AC Inc. is what got me to actually DM for the first time. So
yeah,
you know.
You too, Shauna?
Huh?
Was Acquisitions Inc. what got you in?
Yes. Yeah, it was the first thing in when 4E came out.
That's crazy.
Got me interested in that.
Yeah.
That's really crazy, both of you, huh? At the time I was running games in a game store, and my friend Tom, who played in my game, was telling me, Sean, you should listen to these podcasts. They're really good. And like I believed him, but I just didn't have the time. I sort of pseudo followed it. But geez, it grew into a really, really big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm so happy that Evelyn, Evelyn's gonna do well, but it's nice to see.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to see,
Yeah.
how good of a player that Anna is,
Because it was the same thing when Strix had that first appearance and stuff like that. It was like, if you finally get to see like a wider like audience, like how good these players are playing these characters.
It was pretty amazing how easily Anna like acclimated to a new group of people with Evelyn.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see.
Well, she knows Omen.
Yeah, well,
I think she's played with Walnut a few times before.
She's played with
Viari.
Yeah.
She's played with Viari.
Or with Patrick, yeah.
Let's see. There's a couple more. Lots of green flame. Oh, they didn't phase that out. They're still doing it.
Oh, that they can't not do that anymore. I think that's
there's still green flame.
The intro cartoon was good. Yes.
Those are always good.
I love those.
Oh, the moment when Chris Perkins stepped down.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, I got
Dice and Dinosaurs. It was because of the horses that would pass by them, and she was looking at them like sports cars since they're family bred horses. Yeah, I know they worked with them. Yeah, she's from Amthale, and her family does horse stuff. And Scotty says that the AI game was a great introduction to Evelyn to people who don't watch DCA. We had a few guys behind us asking who Evelyn even was. Cool. So this is a smart way to. For now, it's good to cross the streams a little bit, to help
promotion,
build up dice camera action, and also, when Scott Kurtz left, Binwin, that's a pretty massive, thing.
Yeah.
So they do need people to fill the hole.
Scott Kurtz leaving was definitely like a Chris Perkins leaving deal when
He
it first happened. You know.
Yeah, because Binwin was original 3. It'd be like Jim or Omen leaving.
Yeah.
I saw him, Scott Kurtz, at the dealer room.
So did I actually. Yeah.
I bought this adventure journal.
Oh, those are
So it like you put your character in there, right? And then there's pages for notes.
Oh yeah, Jeanette has one of those.
And
Okay.
there's room for about 3 characters in there, and there's a whole bunch of graph paper too.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll be putting my characters in this book and taking notes in them. But I tried to talk to him, but he was busy talking to somebody, so I didn't really have much to say other than I think you're awesome. I'm sure he's
That's okay. That's
I
what I said to Keith Baker.
He's probably not dying to hear that. So I whatever. I just bought my journal and went on with my business. Scotty, I'm not sure, but I would bet there's some website that sells these things.
Yeah, I think maybe
it's a Table Titans thing. So
yeah, it's probably on the Table Titans. Like they have I know for sure the store.
Saima, at least Binwin died how he would have wanted, stoned. Yeah, but like, is he dead forever?
He's still dead. I mean, forever is a long time.
He's
currently dead.
There's no urgency to bring him back. It's kind of strange.
True.
It's kind of weird.
I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, the characters would want to bring this character back, but also, like, the player has said, like, there's no better way for Binwin to die. So
Binwin died in a pretty metal way.
Yeah, which I think is why, like, in recent editions they've added that clause to like raise dead and stuff if the soul is willing to come back, stuff like that.
Dyson Dinosaur says, "Oh my god!" At the DCA live game, the part where Jared said, "Tell that to Binwin," I was
it's like, oh, there's like guests are fine in crossovers. I think that's what we was that character said that. It's like no, no, actually not.
All right, I think it's time for us to wrap up. So we all met each other at the game at the thing. We should have played something together. We'll have to do that next time.
There was a lot of running around, but next time.
Yeah, there was.
But it was so weird to see. We're all in a big crowd. It was so strange. Like all these people that I met online playing D&D with, and we're all in the same place at the same time. It was really weird and really cool. And some people had told me that they're short in real life. Then I met them, and they're not short. I was thinking like. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my gosh!
It's like maybe I'm just not that tall. Maybe I think I'm taller than I am. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like
I know. I certainly think I'm taller than I am.
I don't know. I didn't notice anything like that. But we went to. So I went to this restaurant the night before in the Marriott hotel that I was staying in. It was great. So that night, I'm like, all right, let's all go out to eat. We all go back to that restaurant. That was like, we got this waiter. He was just the worst. What a jerk that guy was. Man, he's just so rude to everybody. I wanted to spit in his face, just But so yeah, we got to eat, and I think the next time we should definitely just go play some games somewhere. I'll try. And
because I know. I couldn't even stay like partway through dinner because I had to go like panel. I'm like, oh, I did the same thing where it's like, I just I eat the fastest I've ever ate a Philly cheesesteak. What's that thing?
And so also it would have been cool to do this show there.
Oh gosh.
But I don't know. I've never done anything like that.
It's like
my laptop, I don't think could handle it.
Or like
maybe in the future we could give it a try. I don't know.
Your hotel Wi-Fi, it's always dicey, especially with everyone probably in the hotels using it.
I would and I would need a microphone, I guess, that would work.
That we could all huddle around.
Talk into, and we'd have the one camera on us. That would be weird, but it might be fun to do.
I think it would definitely be cool. Just sit around somewhere quiet, just chat.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, we could stream our D&D game too, but again, the sound is going to be so strange,
Yeah.
It might be really bad and hard to watch. So.
Yeah, everyone around a microphone.
But I personally, I haven't been to a convention in like a really long time, And I went to this, and it was completely different from the conventions that I've been to. The old ones that I went to were full of sweaty guys who were arguing about rules and passionately telling you about some obscure RPG. And this is nothing like that at all. It's much more laid back. It's all sorts of people. It's not just just sweaty white guys like myself. It's everybody's there. There's at least as many women as men. It's just it was crazy. It was so different. I was just kind of boggled.
And it really did feel sort of like just a celebration of playing games, I never felt like you get that sort of thing online sometimes where people are judging you for playing, oh, you play that game?
Oh, yeah.
But all these booths were just there and people were playing games side by side in the big free play area, and it was really nice.
It's a good con.
So did you like PAX Unplugged? Are you glad you went?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, totally. It was a blast. It was different than my usual PAX, but it was great. I loved meeting everybody. It was so good.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And we got to do stuff with all sorts of people. Shauna and I ended up in a game with the guy who one of the DM Guild adepts, Rich Lescaflair. He made this sci-fi 5e game called Esper Genesis.
That was a table. That was a hell of a table. And I think unless if I wasn't coming off of panel adrenaline, I would have been way more nervous.
We're playing D&D with Lisa Chen, who wrote some of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Web DM Jim from Web DM, and Nerdarchy Dave, the guy from the Nerdarchy channel. And we're all playing D&D with him, and it was just this is freaking amazing, And it's just it was just awesome. So yeah, it was really great, and I would suggest to anybody who's thinking about going to definitely go, because it's really not, depending on where you live, it's not that expensive. The tickets were $60, and you need a place to stay. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
And
food, something to eat.
Yeah, the trajectory for Unplugged is actually really nice because it's not as intense as, let's say, East or West. It's a smaller con. Lines aren't as bad. There's still lines. There's still a bit of a crowd, but it's way less than it's such a good con to just play and actually do stuff in.
It was honestly kind of amazing how not bad the lines actually were. I've gone to anime conventions that have worse than this.
Yeah, I'm used to anime
worse lines.
Comic cons.
Yeah.
And usually when you go to an event with a lot of people, there's going to be some people that are like jerks.
Yeah.
You get douche chills, I didn't get douche chills one time.
Neither did I.
Not once. It was just everybody knew how to behave. Everybody was there just to have fun. Just open-minded, nice people. It was like an amazing gathering. It was really nice, So I would definitely say you should, if you're thinking about going, you should definitely go.
Yeah,
definitely. And it was really surreal, running into people who I didn't know personally.
Yeah.
Who just said, "Hey, Dylan, what's up? It's really cool meeting you." And I was just
it's
oh, hello.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. We even, we met fans of our shows, our D&D shows. It was so weird. It was holy cow, So this is a great time. So yeah, episode 120, awesome stuff. When this goes on YouTube, I'll put the link to the show and to the Q&A in there. And so tomorrow we'll be back to do episode 121, which was the episode where Simon comes to life.
Oh boy, there's gonna be a lot to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Chris came back swinging real hard.
Yeah, really.
Real hard.
Plugs, Shawnee, got any plugs?
Yes. So in addition to the regular Power Score RPG, Hell's Rebels game 5e at 6:30 p.m. on Saturdays Eastern Time. On Friday on Little Red Dots channel, we're playing Rich Girl Adventures, where I play a broom sports werewolf girl, And
sports.
Yeah, it's been super good. It's not a lot of combat, but like it's funny, like drama, like teen drama, so good. And then new show on the Greyhawk channel just premiered this past week is Liberation of Joff, which is it's a bunch of like, it seems like a bunch of soldiers going behind the enemy lines and disrupting the giants that have taken over the kingdom of Joff. And it is a thing. We are not messing around. Thor threw 5 giants at us, and we barely survived that. So it's gonna be a pretty hardcore game on us, and it's been awesome so far. And that's on Greyhawk channel on Mondays at 8:30 p.m.
Awesome. Dylan, you got any plugs?
I do. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Greyhawk channel, we got Tickets to Cast Greyhawk. Iron Dabbers are back.
Yeah.
Iron Dabbers.
Yes.
Yes.
Can explore more of the Barrow Maze, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on this channel, Power Square RPG, we're going to be doing more Waterdeep Dragon Heist, where we just got out of the Growlhund Villa, much like the Waffle Crew, although it wasn't. It was pretty bad, actually.
You guys are close.
It was pretty bad. But we're going to start Chapter 4, I do believe. So come watch that.
And tomorrow, 1 o'clock on the Greyhawk channel, we'll be doing Secrets of Castle Greyhawk. And tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back here on this channel doing more Dice Camera Action Waffle talking. We're going to talk all about the episode from Tuesday, about Simon coming to life and all of that stuff. So I want to thank everybody who posted comments in the chat, everybody we met at the convention, and everybody watching here and on YouTube. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you again tomorrow.